Hi, welcome to my channel Semper Astra. My name is Maggie, and in today's video I will summarize first 6 months of independent work with my new guide dog Wilma. At the beginning of this video I would like to emphasize that I am not a guide dog trainer and I am a blind person who recently received her third guide dog and who would like to share her own experience. For those of you who don't know me, I would like to mention that I live in the UK and my guide dog Wilma was trained by British Guide Dog School. I would like to start sharing my experience by mentioning things that makes me most happy and that surprised me most in a very positive way. So although I have completed my training with Wilma only 6 months ago, I already trust her as much as I trusted my previous guide dogs after many years of working with them. This is amazing news because at the beginning of our journey, I didn't expect that we will make so much progress in such a short period of time. So I definitely noticed that we are walking much faster and that we are very confident not only on the routes that we use on daily basis, but also on the routes that Wilma doesn't know so well, but I know them, if that makes sense. So the only routes where we continue to struggle and where I feel very anxious are routes that I don't know and that Wilma doesn't know. And of course, on those routes, I have to rely heavily on sat-nav system. And of course, I don't know exactly what is ahead of me. So I don't know what instructions and what commands to give to Wilma. But we continue to working on those skills. And I also can say that I totally trust Wilma that she will take me around all obstacles that are on my way. And whenever Wilma changes the direction of our walk or kind of is walking around something, kind of makes like a semicircle, I'm always certain that there is a good reason for her doing this, and I always follow her with confidence. And what is also very important is the fact that I can differentiate when Wilma is acting out of character, kind of changes the, speed or stops or is walking around something because of obstacle, and when she does it because she's distracted. So for example, in my town, in the evening there is many foxes, or sometimes Wilma is distracted by the dog, and I can easily tell when she's distracted and when she does something for purpose, because, for instance, there is an obstacle. I also trust totally that Wilma finds for me all of the places and objects that are essential to me. So, for instance, she always stops on every curb. She finds all crossings that I need. She finds buttons that I need to press to cross the road. And also, I have noticed that she is getting very cheeky in a very smart way. So I will give you an example of that. So according to rules, Wilma is supposed to find the crossing, stop on the crossing in the way that we face the crossing, and then I'm supposed to give her a command, find the button, and then Wilma takes me to the button that I will press to cross the road. But Wilma realized that I will ask her to take me to this button, so she doesn't stop on the crossing, and she doesn't wait for the second command. She takes me straight to the button. And I consulted that with the guide dog trainer, who confirmed that this is perfectly safe and okay to do. And it is just showing that Wilma is extremely smart. Another amazing thing that I wanted to share with you is that I have learned how to teach Wilma to take me to the location that she hasn't been yet in, but I know of, if that makes sense. So just to give you an example, when I want to start going with Wilma to a shop that I already know, but she hasn't been there with me, I always ask somebody to point me to the door of that shop, not to confuse Wilma by trying different shops on the way, if that makes sense, and finding the correct one. So for instance, sometimes I take the taxi to this location, or I just ask people on the street. So I'm not looking for the shop myself, if that makes sense, by try and error, because that would confuse Wilma. I always walk straight there. Then I stand by the door, I praise Wilma, I give her treats, then I walk, let's say 20 steps away, I ask her to find this door, praise her again, give her treats. Then I walk like 30 steps away, ask her to find this particular door, praise her again, and give her treats. And we repeat this exercise about 3 times. And Wilma, after doing this, she already will remember that this location is important to me. And sometimes, of course, it is difficult for me to recognize which shop is which when we are walking along the street. So it is essential that Wilma knows which shops are more important to me and which are less important to me. And this can be applied to other locations, like houses of my friends, or kind of important bus stops that I use more often. So now, with the help of kind of people who are around us, we can kind of learn new locations, and not always we have to ask people from guidebooks to come and help us. Another amazing thing that I wanted to share with you is that I have realized how Wilma's memory works in an amazing way. So Wilma not only is very confident on routes that she does every day, but she also is very confident in places that she was taught to go to, but she doesn't use very often. So for instance, she's very confident on trains, although we don't use trains in our daily life. She's very confident in the tube in London, and again, we don't use tube in London every day. And the best evidence of Wilma's amazing memory is when we went to hospital in London. Wilma was taught that route in August, and then several months later she perfectly found the hospital and she found the tube on the way back home. And I am totally sure that all of these successes are thanks to amazing support that I receive from guide dogs. So whenever I come across any obstacles or difficulties, I can always call the trainer who completed the training with me, and then she talks me through the difficulty that I experienced and gives me advice. So I will give you an example of the difficulty that we overcame that way. So for instance, Wilma, because she's so smart, she wants to get as many treats as possible. So sometimes she's showing me things that I don't need, and she's demanding to get treats. So for instance, sometimes she would walk with me down the road and she would point me to the bin when I don't need the bin. And then she didn't want to go ahead until I give her a treat. And the rule is that we are not supposed to give the guide dog the treat and reward them for something that we didn't ask them for, if that makes sense. So it was difficult for me to convince Wilma to continue walking further without the treat, but with the support from the guide dog trainer, I knew that I just need to relax, be totally patient, and just keep repeating the command forward or straight on in a very calm but firm voice. And that perfectly worked. Wilma initially hesitated for a minute, then for like 30 seconds, and now she doesn't do it anymore. Also, the lady from Guide Dogs who trained me with Wilma visited me 6 weeks after us completing the course, and then 6 months after completing the course, which was just a couple of days ago. And she helped us to learn additional routes and gave us advice how we can build on our skills further, and also kind of told us about a few areas that we could be working on and improving in our work together. And at this point, I want to mention that I am totally aware of the fact that we still have to continue to be very careful. We still have to put a lot of work to building on our skills that we have gained during the training, that we have to still put a lot of work to building trust between us and to building our relationship, because our partnership is still very new and fragile. So we have to be very careful to do everything to the best standard. And this initial 12 months are actually very important and very crucial. And unfortunately, if we kind of lowered the bar and if we didn't follow all of the rules, or if we were inconsistent, things could easily go wrong, and probably we could easily lose the benefits of the training that we had. And of course, I just want to emphasize that we need to follow the rules and be consistent throughout entire life, but for entire kind of length of our partnership. But this initial 12 months are absolutely crucial. So I hope that my positive experience will be useful to you in some ways, and that also that it will make you feel positive about possibly your future guide dog training. And I will ensure to give you an update at the end of 12-month period. And I will speak to you soon in the next video, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.